My name is Anna. I am a wife, a mother, a teacher, and a collector of all kinds of skills and hobbies, from reading to gardening and canning to baking bread. Welcome back to the Bread of Life series. The last episode, we talked about how flour, water, salt, and yeast are essential in bread making, just as the Bible, Holy Spirit, salt, and faith is essential to our spiritual journeys. In this episode, we're going to dive a little deeper into exploring the fascinating world of yeast and how it relates to our spiritual growth. We're going to make a French bread. It's a big, round, beautiful loaf of bread that you can use for sandwiches or just munching on with some good butter. To start off with, we're going to measure out our flour. We're going to need 3 cups of unbleached bread flour. You can also use all-purpose flour for this. And we will get our yeast activated. So to do that, we'll need 1.5 cups of water at about 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm just gonna make a well in my flour here. And I am going to add our water, and then I'm going to add our yeast. Water. And then I'm going to add our yeast. And you also need sugar to feed the yeast. This is what helps activate the yeast. So the warm water kind of helps wake it up, and then they start munching on the sugar. And that is how you get to see bubbles because they are actually essentially burping. And we'll let this sit for about 10 minutes. It will get bubbly and frothy. The process of yeast fermenting and causing bread to rise takes time and patience. Similarly, spiritual growth is often a gradual process that requires perseverance. The yeast has been properly mixed into the dough when it's evenly distributed throughout the mixture with no visible clumps of dry yeast remaining. Now that our yeast is activated and bloomed, we have some great bubbles here. We're gonna finish adding the rest of our ingredients. So we need some oil. You can also, there's 3 tablespoons here. You can also do 3 tablespoons of butter. I often use bacon lard because who doesn't like bacon in their bread, right? And then salt. I always leave salt for last and after I've kind of started mixing already, because salt can actually retard the activation of your yeast. So we are just gonna start working on mixing in our flour in our well here. And hope I don't make a giant mess all over Pam and PC's kitchen like I am. Oh! I swear to goodness, I do this weekly. And I don't think I've ever done that. I know that this looks like a crazy mess right now, but we are going to add a bit of our salt here before we finish working everything in and kneading. Now that our ingredients are mostly together, you can see it doesn't quite look like the loaf of bread you're used to, because there's still a few more steps and some time that it needs to hang out. Join us next time as we go over kneading and shaping your dough.